I don't know what the heck I'm quiet. Oh, jeez, why am I quiet? Jeez, these silly mic settings and all their silly whatnots. Hi, hello. It's me, the local virtual baker, Saltea Kichee. And, I think I've just kind of squandered my perfect attendance when it comes to timing. I'm not sure. I'm usually pretty good at being on time and all that whatnot. Yeah. This is, weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling that I should have streamed a little bit later, but it was like, you know what? Might as well. It's kind of funny. I did initially want to make this to a baking stream, but then I kind of realized the things I want to bake, I kind of can't bake right now because I just don't have the sufficient material to do such thing. That and also I just don't feel like baking today. There's that as well. What is it? Yeah, so I was gonna bake like some bread, but I didn't really. The funny thing is, I just didn't really know what to bake. What is it? I made. Oh, hi, Lung. Hi. I made sourdough, 2 loaves of sourdough not long ago, so I'm kind of. I've already fitted. I already kind of met my sourdough quota for this week. So yeah, I didn't really feel like making sourdough again. And even at that, my sourdough starter, I'm trying to strengthen again. I think he a little sick. Wheatley seems to be a little itty bitty sick. So I'm just kind of waiting on him to gain his strength back. I'm not really, I've been kind of holding back on making sour starter. I don't know. Let's see here. But that isn't really the main part of this stream. So, speaking of, how did the gamer subs bread tasted? Well, it didn't taste bad, but it didn't taste good. It's definitely having a nice, lovely home in the trash can, I will go out and say. However, it doesn't mean it was bad. It just, I know it can make it better. And the first and foremost thing is that I actually need to make my sour starter more healthy. So I'm gonna try and work on that. I need to strengthen up my sour starter. That's the big and first thing I gotta do. Sour starter need to get stronger. Wheatley, he need to go back to the gym and start training. So yeah, gotta use a better flavor too. I mean, that's why I'm working on, what is it? I'm working on, what is it called? So, there is there is like an end goal, because I wanted to first see if it was gonna be possible to make this, the way I wanted it to. I didn't even really know if if it was gonna work to begin with. Just because I thought like, oh, it's gonna make it too sweet, or maybe it would kill the starter or something like that. But it turns out it works completely fine, which is what I'm very surprised about. So that worked out very nicely. The end goal is actually making a sourdough bread based on bao. She has a She has a gamer subs flavor, and I believe she's recently been doing sourdough. She's been making sourdough as well, so kind of thought it would be really funny to do a bao based sourdough, like a really nice high quality bolted sourdough with seeds and oats and making it real healthy and all that. But then to just make it really curse and squander it by adding her gamer subs. Not because the gamer subs is bad, but like an energy drink sourdough sounds absolutely diabolical. And I haven't really been able to catch many of her streams. So as much as I know, she's silly. She's a little cursed, and I don't know. I haven't really been watching her streams too much. I more or less just listen to her music, more or less. But yeah, that's kind of the end all be all goal when it comes to this thing. I actually don't know. I actually bought a. Oh, sorry. I bought a tub of sups, of the bowberry sups. I don't know when it's supposed to come to me. I don't know when it's supposed to come. When is it supposed to be? Let me check. On its way. Oh, it's on its way. That'd be really funny. That'd be a really funny coincidence that if it gets like shipped today, that would be really, really funny if that is to be the case. I have my I have my suspicions that's not going to be the case, but it would be funny if that were to be the case. Anyways. Just taking a little look-see, because I want to see where is it. Oh, okay, so it's supposedly its initial date of when it's supposed to be here is October 1st. So with that in mind, I have 5 I have 5 days essentially to strengthen my sour starter. So yeah, I've been working hard on feeding him and making sure I'm on par with all that whatnot. So far, he's been kind of going on up and down, and I feel like that is just in part of just because I'm using tap water, and it's not as good as using like a nice clean filtered water, so it's just kind of par for the course. The chlorine probably diminishes the flavor and all that whatnot of like the natural sour. So yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay. Hold on. I wanna pull down the board today because I do want to talk and concept and like not storyboard, but concept. Make a concept here. I want to make some sour starter and all of that. Sour starter. I want to make some concepts today because I don't know. I just want to make some concepts here about some more bread and whatnot. It's like you know, like how a lot of artists and whatnot have a perpetual like work in progress folder and stuff like that. Well, my equivalent is this. Hold on, I'll just show it on screen. I'm just gonna take a screenshot. My what is it? My what's the word? My equal evaluation of that is making this list of like bread VTubers of VTubers I want to make into bread into a constant purgatory of ideas that's never gonna be executed, but might be executed, you know? I'm gonna really quickly mark off the things that have been done. So currently I can definitely say okay, so green is gonna be done, and then like blue is gonna be like I'm working on it. The Senna, I'm working on that bread. Val, I'm working on that. I'm actually still working on this one. This one is still giving me a bit of trouble, honestly. Funny, because this actually doesn't have all the breads I've actually finished. There are some breads I have done, but I just haven't gotten to, what's the word? But they're just not on this sheet in particular. But I thought, let's do some fun. Hold on, I gotta sit up. I want to sit up in my chair a bit. I want to do some like research, I guess, of said VTubers and whatnot, but also trying to make a really interesting kind of bread. unless it's like something that I don't really want to make or change too much, just because it's already a unique bread as is, even though if it sounds basic. Such as the Gatorade bread. Sounds absolutely diabolical. Diabolical. That's the word I'm looking for. The bread, that seems absolutely diabolical. Because in concept, why would you put Gatorade and bread together? That just sounds like a complete recipe for absolute nonsense. But I've seen the Twitter, the Tumblr. Blech. I've seen stuff on Tumblr because that's where this idea originated. Gatorade bread. Apparently, it works fairly well. It's just that you use Gatorade instead of water. So it's not too hard of a concept, really. It's actually quite simple. And I don't know, Sienna. She's like a. She's a neat. I follow her because I used to, not used to, I follow, Niana, and they're both buds, and Sienna's kind of silly, so I follow her. She's kind of goofy, so, it'd be really funny if I made a bread that's like Gatorade. I'm not sure if that's on brand. I'm not sure if that's something that very much is like her, but it just, one of those hunch feelings where it's like, this kind of feels like it just works on paper, but I also need to go buy Gatorade. So that's the thing that's kind of stopping me from making that bread. I gotta buy Gatorade, and, well, Gatorade is not exactly cheap. So, it's like, what? It's like one bottle is like, what, $5? It's a little much, so maybe I gotta buy it on Amazon or something. I don't know. Buy it in bulk. I like myself a Gatorade, and I do like the bland flavor of Gatorade that I'm gonna use for Sienna. Hold on. It's that ice. It's the light blue one because she's light blue, so it only makes sense. Like, oh, the light blue one, the blue flavor. Glacier Freeze Thirst, that one. I'm gonna use that one to use as the base. I'm gonna see how that works. I'm not really sure how else to. Here's kind of an issue when I want to make like VTuber breads and whatnot. This is a really big issue when it comes to doing all that. All of this. I don't watch VTubers very often. So there's a bit of a minor bit of an issue of like, oh shrimp, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make you into bread because I don't know you well enough. But I'm stubborn and I shall carry on and continue because I'm stupid like that. Hold on, I'm just looking around because I do want to expand this list. This is a list I am planning on expanding at some point. The issue is, not issue, but the thing is what is it? It's gonna come to me. I promise. It is gonna come to me. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. Bread. VTubers. Making VTubers into bread. I want to make some VTubers into bread, but it's like, how? Who? And how can I do the bare minimum amount of research? I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. Because I'm stupid and I can't get. I feel like okay. This might be a stupid thing to mention, but like I feel like trying to understand like a VTuber's quirks and all this and that is like trying to understand a micro fandom. Cause like that's kind of what every like VTuber kind of is in a way, no? They all have their little communities, their little inside jokes, their little stuff and this and that. But not all of them are what would you say? Not all of them are it's gonna come to me. Not all of them are something I can kind of go look at a glance and go like, okay, I understand who they are, you know? Here, I'll give a good example because like, well, not even at that, but like, even if I do understand their fandom, it's kind of an issue of like, how do I translate this into like quirks of bread? Because I'm unfortunately very, very stupid. Well, not stupid, I think I'm just not creative enough. Some stuff I kind of have to like stretch my, like move my head around and kind of like really squint and look at something. There's a lot of stuff towards like, oh, this bread for Koki, this one. They're a frog and like a silly thing. Met them on off Kai, they're cool. At a meet and greet. So I want to do like a black sesame lime leaf tea bread, just because the lime leaf, I think that'd be an interesting kind of flavor, making like a tea with lime leaves. Essentially, lime leaves are kind of like leaves. It's like a bay leaf instead of just being like kind of a background flavor, because bay leaves have very minimal flavor. Lime leaves are a lot more floral. They have a lot more notes of citrus and obviously enough lime. And she's here. Let me bring up the VTuber in question so I can actually describe the methodology and the thought process and all that silly fun words that I can continue to say. Let's see. Do I even have a reference sheet of her? Oh yeah, okay, here. This creature, silly. They look goofy. They're very neat. But yeah, black sesame seems cool. I'm not sure if I want to do that on top or inside. No, I do want to do inside, just because it's like, oh, if you ever see this is a little stupid of a stretch, but so since she's a frog, when frogs lay their eggs, their their clusters of eggs kind of look like little like balls of like black stuff and stuff. So it's kind of weird to twist your head around this idea, but it's like, oh, there's okay, wait, this is okay. In concept, it's like very funny, but on the other, now it's just kind of weird because like, oh yeah, there was tadpoles in this bread, and it's like, wait, that seems kind of whack. That seems kind of weird. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gotta figure it out, but I think, I do think, no, I remember. Because I went to a meet and greet, and I met and greeted with her. I met her on as a V2. Yeah, meet and greeted with them, and I asked, "Hey, if you could be a bread, what would you be?" And I think I'm pretty sure she said something with black sesame seeds, and like brioche. So I'm trying to think of like something that is among those lines, and I'm kind of like worried about when I do breads that are based like on VTuber and stuff like this, because there's always this really risky, not risky, but like thing I feel very personally bad about, because not every VTuber likes their anonymity and like, you know, trying to make sure that all that stuff is hidden. Like I, for instance, do not care and will be very happy to tell you that I am a Korean who was raised in America, so like, yay, yippee. Actually, come to think of it, I'll get back to that thought in a moment. So it's like, oh, let me see, to help me better understand and get a better idea of what kind of bread I could make of this VTuber. What is their background? But then like that, it's like, that feels like I'm almost trying to look into their own like PLs and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that because I do want to respect it at least a little bit, unless they don't respect it, which kind of puts it into a very, very confusing circumstance of sorts. Because then at that point, it's like, ah, yes, I want to make a bread based on you without like trying to accidentally dox you, for instance. So it's like, oh, I'd love to do this and that for you, but I get babaka, but I just like, oh, I just don't know your boundaries when it comes to that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of a issue when it comes to, there's many issues when it comes to like me making a bread. So there's that. There's like an ethical, a moral issue, a moral. I don't know. There's a give and take issue of like, oh yeah, I want to do this for you, but at the same time, I want to make sure I'm respecting your boundaries and not looking up information that you might want to keep hidden and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, so let me see what's down in your about tabs, and then you look at their about tabs, and it's just like, oh, it's just yeah, okay, yeah, okay, that's just them doing their thing. And it's like, oh shoot, I don't know. There's stuff like that and things like I just gotta have to work with what I got. And although it's like, oh, I just gotta work with the character design and all that stuff too, because that's usually the best thing I can do. Here, I'll give you a good example of like great character design I don't know how to make into a bread. A cool VTuber known as Zuzu. This lovely gal right here. She cooks too. She's very cool, very nice, very friendly. And she has an amazing like mecha design. It's really cool. And she's very creative, and if you have the chance, let me see if I can shout her out real quick, because I like her. She's cool. Even though I don't really feel like it's necessary for me to shout her out, but for the few that may not know of her, I feel like it's something that needs, I don't know, something that's like, yeah, you should. So for her, great, funny, very creative, and etc, and etc. The issue is, how do you make a mecha girl that cooks a lot of anime-based food, which is another really cool thing about her? How do you translate that into bread? It's blank. And I think I've asked her even of like, hey, if you were bread, what would you be? I don't think she gave me a very straight answer. It was like, she gave me an answer, and it's like, I don't know. I'm confused. And I mean, there is something I do know, perhaps, maybe. Do not know, but like hold on, let me see. I'm gonna look at her. Oh yeah, I asked if she likes. I asked what bread she likes, and ciabatta. She said ciabatta. And although that's really, that is something that would be cool to make. It's like, okay, so I know that she has an Asian background. She likes ciabatta bread. She's pink, which is a very big role when it... Color palette plays a huge role when it comes to me trying to think of bread ideas. So, she's pink, she likes ciabatta bread, and she comes from an Asian background. These are all things that clash so hard together. It's like trying to put oil, water in the vacuum in space. It just doesn't make sense and is very confusing to work with because, first of all, ciabatta bread is Italian. It is an Italian-based bread, and it's usually very straightforward. It is oil, is like water. It's like a baguette, essentially. It is essentially just a baguette. Now, I don't really know many things that are pink that I can add to this, and I've already done a... I guess I could do like a strawberry ciabatta bread. You know what? I'm stupid as shit. I'm really dumb, because I realized that's really the most logical thing to do. I actually do have... Alright, I'm gonna write that down. Strawberry making a strawberry ciabatta for her. It's just that easy, chat. You see, I'm just really stupid, and the best ways for me to make ideas is just to start talking about it. That's why I need to do these streams, so I can actually talk about these ideas and then go like, oh, wow, that's an idea that just kinda does work. I'm not smart. I'm only smart when I start talking, but even at that, when I do start talking, I sometimes am still stupid. Anyways, anyways. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I highlight VTubers that we are thoroughly talked about as well. So Koki, we talked about that. Sienna, Hugh, I've already talked about that. I still have to work. It's not really hard to work on. It's just that I gotta make a good recipe for it. Nyana is interesting because I don't know if I have the reference picture that I'm using that's basing this off of. Let me see. Okay, so first of all, this is Nyana. Oh, okay, and this is kind of my main baseline of like what I'm working with, because I know she has a gothic outfit. She is very, I don't know, she likes goth-based stuff, I guess. I really don't know what to tell you. And it's like Nyana, Nyana. The banana's kind of right there in the name. So I thought of why not make a banana bread of her, but maybe throw raspberries in it, because like, hey, that's fun, playing into the little schizo motif, I guess. So that's fun. But not just your ordinary cakey banana bread. I'm talking about making a bread that is, you know, actually bread. Because I've kind of had this realization recently of like, every sort of bread, you can make bread with pretty much any sort of like thing. Like, I've made a carrot bread and that turned out very lovely. It tasted more like a sweet potato bread. And even at that, I made a sweet potato bread. A potato bread. Who's to say I can't make like a celery bread at this point? So I kind of want to see and work with the ideas of making a banana bread. A actual bread that is like bananas, but it's also not bread. It's also not like banana. It's not like your ordinary banana bread of cake. It doesn't. I don't want to make it taste like cake, because banana bread traditionally is made with baking soda. But if I make an actual banana bread that's based on, well, yeast, I think that'd be kind of cool. Oh, hi there, hi Orange, hi, how are you? Citrus, hi, how are you doing? I just now noticed you. You could also look into the character inspo for lore or mythology wise. Ciabatta can be temperamental. Could do sakura or cherry flavored. I think cherry. Okay, sakura might be a good idea to do, but you know what? Sakura strawberry actually sounds really pretty. You know what? I'm gonna see how I can do that. Sakura strawberry ciabatta. All right. Going down the list here. This is driving me bananas. Then how about you drive into a ditch? Sorry, I don't know. The lines connected in such a horrible way. Ah! Don't hit me! So, anyways, I asked Rhyme too. She said she would. I want to do a bread based on like the gourd. She's.
Bonk.
Stop hitting me! I'm explaining a thing. Ah! Okay. So, anyways, so she has something within her little community of like her eating gourd cheese, and this cheese is actually a very nice cheese. Is made with bread. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at my stupid bit now. I'm a psychopath. I think my own bits are funny. Kill me. She has a thing about gourd cheese, which is just a red Windsor cheese, which is a cheese that has, I think it's either soaked in or made with red wine. So it's quite a not sought after. It's kind of high-end cheese, and I think she said she likes caramelized onions too. So that's a fun thing to do. So it'll be a very simple sort of red wine cheese bread with caramelized onions and sourdough, which doesn't sound hard on paper to do. Once more, the most difficult thing to get is the goddamn cheese, because getting getting 4 ounces of it is like $16, and that just makes me sad. So that is set in stone though. I really like it. I think it very much portrays them very well. Daishima is a lad who is here on occasion. Whoa, I can't talk. He's a guy. He's definitely a cool lad, and I want to make bread based on him too. Just because it also, what is it? It also marks another thing off my bucket list of bread I want to make, which is just making a tea bread. So I also want to get into making matcha, because matcha is really cool. I got a little matcha whisk and all of that stuff when I was in Japan. So trying to make good matcha whilst also trying to make that matcha and using that to make bread would sound pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure that there are like tea breads in the world that do exist. Let me look it up. Tea breads. Yeah, it's essentially what looks to... It kind of just looks like Gahana.
Bro, stop dying.
Looks like a little baguette even. Looks like kind of cool. Here, wait, let me show you. Bro, stop dying. Listen! It's not my fault. I'm a absolute wreckage and mess. Do you not see the white spots on me? Do you not see these glitchies? Do I have to make myself glitch out more for you to understand there's issues? Anyways, bit's over. Let's go with this. Wow, look at this tea bread. This looks really cool. And the little white powder stuff, just kind of the little dusting of like either maybe flour or sugar or whatever the hell it is. Let me pull up his design. Let me grab Daishima. I think that would actually work really well with his design. Like, alright, we're gonna play with saturation here. Okay, maybe not this color of green. Let me just like... Ooh, okay, maybe the back... Okay, maybe this looks a little weird right now. It looks like a pretty patty. Okay, yeah, just try and not look at the purple, alright? Keep the purple. keep Shrek bread, I guess, or Hulk bread. Okay, more bread that's kind of more like this, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I don't know what the hell matcha... I don't know how matcha interacts with bread. I've made bread that's pink and it looks like flesh, but you gotta hear me out. The white on his design And him being like a magical girl, but not magical girl, it's magical boy, I guess, design. I think doing this direction, so I'm gonna make sure I write down in my text document matcha kahana tea bread. I think that'd be kind of cool. And also just it being like a little shtick, more like a baguette. Just is like, oh, it's a little scepter or something like that. So hey, matcha kahana tea bread. Let me actually look up kahana. Kahana. I probably am pronouncing that completely wrong as well. Oh, look at that! It's actually quite cute. Look at this. It's like they're just like little itty bitty baguettes, and they're quite little silly little guys. Look at these guys. Oh, cute breads. But yes. So yeah, that's him off the list. Off the hit list he goes. Banana bread, but you make it with runts instead of real bananas. Hi Daishima, speaking of the devil, but what the hell is a runt? Runtas. Runts. Oh! Ew! That's nasty. I hate those. Those suck. They just turn into powder, just be making it into like... Just using that as... Actually, that's so stupid of an idea that you said this out loud, because now it'd be really funny to make this banana bread for Niana. But then, instead of using sweeteners and stuff, I just get those candies, and then just crush them into dust. I hate that idea. Oh my god. I'm gonna kill you for that. I'm gonna get, you know what? I gotta stop saying I'm gonna kill you, because like Twitch or YouTube's not gonna like that. But you know what? I'm gonna give your computer a virus and delete all your files. I'm gonna factory reset your computer, which I think it's probably actually worse than death itself, but we'll see. Anyways, honey bread, Goosty. I hate Goosey. She's so stupid. I want to slap her across the face. Grr, I hate her so much. Rah. Anyways, wow, this is Yubi. You should know who she is, maybe. I don't know. She hasn't. I think she's on hiatus at the moment. She's definitely something. She's honey. So it's very easy to like, oh, I know what kind. Actually, you know what? I know exactly what to make her into. I wonder if I spelled that correctly. If I spelled this correctly, I'm gonna scream. Oh my god, I'm so smart! Okay, sorry, I'm just like, I have no idea how to spell Hawaiian. I know how to spell Hawaii, but Hawaiian, it's like, do I add the extra I or no? But yeah, Hawaiian bread, yeah. Doing a honey Hawaiian bread sounds really nice. And especially since, look at this little idiot right here. Look at this stupid little goo ball. Little stupid little goo ball. Kick them into the moon or something. Making like little nice Hawaiian buns and then like drizzling them or putting a lot of honey inside sounds quite nice, quite grand. So yeah, I think that actually sounds quite nice. We already talked about Zoobles here. So we're gonna pretend that you see that. But now this is one that's really difficult to think about because like I really like, okay. So remember when I said that some designs are really cute and really cool and etc. There are also then a lot of other VTubers in this world to where it's like, how the hell do I make this into bread? Mitmai is I believe a baker idol. I watch her occasionally now and then. Actually, do I even have do I have her as a reference sheet? Do I download a reference sheet of her? Bleh. Let me see. Interps, nope. Indies. I am not. I gotta draw her at some point. I like my. So here's an issue. How the hell do you draw? How the hell do you make a bread of a baker? How? Oh yes, the baker idol. Okay, so first and foremost, make them into bread. This is the unfortunate thing of like I'm not creative or smart enough to think of something like this. Like, it's right there, you know? It's like handed to me on a plate of like, hey, you definitely want to make her into bread because she is literally a baker. Here you go. But how do I make it not just an ordinary loaf of bread? Because that just kind of seems a little upsetting. It just seems a little shallow, uninspired. Orange glazed maple pretzel buns. I'm not sure about pretzel buns. That is a cool idea to do, but I'm not sure if that's fully on brand with them. Also, I also want to save pretzels for someone who's for something that's a bit more thematic. Because pretzels are not exactly like a very baker thing to think of. Like when I think of a baker, I think of just like a baguette or bread or like simple stuff like that. But her favorite bread? I don't know. I definitely don't think brioche is actually the go-to here, because brioche is like, when I make my brioches, they're extremely rich and very dark and like dark in color and stuff like that. Maybe. Hey, can one of you guys add her on Twitter? Hey, if you could make them, what's your favorite bread? Can someone do that for me? Because I'm too socially anxious and I don't like adding people on Twitter because it makes me scared. Hi Bush, hi. A baker idol bread would be a pork-filled meat bun, clearly. Yes. How pun of me. Yes, of course, making them into a pork bun. Obviously. Honestly, there's actually a lot of ways you can go with like Mint Mai's design here, because she has flower friends and they look like little bunnies. I imagine it's kind of like a play on dust bunnies, but like flower bunnies. So I imagine that's kind of what the play is on that, which is really cool, really nice. Flower friends is very cute. Fluffy bunnies made from baking flour. Wait, from baking flour. So it's like self-rising flour, all-purpose flour, bread flour, just cake flour. I'm probably looking a little bit too hard into this, but you know, milk bread. I'm not sure if this sounds racist, but that sounds really bad for what I was gonna say. That sounded so bad. I'm sorry. Wait, so I like to reserve milk bread for like more Asian-based VTubers and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if she is Asian or not. I don't know. Once more, it gets into that ethic crisis of like, oh, is that something that's open? Is that open knowledge? Is that like no knowledge within the community? Is that something that's like they want to keep hidden and stuff like that? You know? Or like, unless their design is very based in like heavy like Asian like designs, I don't know, something like Korea, Japan, and Philippines or some stuff like that. But I was thinking, because her flower guys look fluffy, I was thinking of doing like cloud bread even, but like cloud bread is diabolically disgusting. It is a savory meringue bread. And you know what? That might be good for her mascot. But I'm not trying to make a bread based on her mascot. I'm trying to make a bread based on Mint Mai. But the thing about doing a bread with Mint Mai, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck at what to do. Like, a part of me just wants to go the easy route and just make her a simple sort of country loaf, you know, something like that, because the hat is very reminiscent of just your average country loaf with just a nice cross scoring mark on the side. Her little hair that's being tied on her back, on the little hair ties, like right here, is very reminiscent of ponderings, and I think those are real cool to make. So maybe making some sort of bread that is a lot like pondering, but not pondering. But like that's kind of weird, because then in that sense it's like, do I want to make a bagel? Or something like that? Like, what route do I take that in? And even at that, trying to make a pondering is really hard, because I don't really know a good recipe for donuts. And honestly, actually saying that out loud, that's actually not terrible of an idea to make for Mint Mai. Maybe the good way around for Mint Mai is just making her into a donut. Which would be quite nice, because donuts are very... They do have some correlation to bakers. And the little hair that's tied up there would be very nice. So donuts are not off the table, but then donuts are kind of very ambiguous. They don't really have much identity. So it's like, oh, a cake donut maybe? But I personally don't know how to work with baking soda, so that's also out of the question. There's one I remember from college, but brain not working. Describe it to me. I possibly know what kind of bread it is. If you need to know about a bread, but it's like the tip of your tongue, I probably can shout it out for you. I am a almost walking almanac of bread. Like what's its key flavors? What's in it? Where's it from? Is it made for a specific? Actually, This is also another one of those. Okay, it looks like barley, but baguette. Are you talking about like a batard, or are you talking about like a sharpened baguette? Are you talking about that weird baguette that is like oh wait, I know what. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, and I actually have something over here. I have a little thing. I have a little poster. I think I probably know what you're talking about. Actually, this wouldn't be a terrible idea, actually. But is it like one of these? Is it one of the, like something like this? Like these two up here? Like this? Yeah, okay. See, just explain it, and I just pretty much maybe might know what you're talking about. And actually, looking at this now, actually isn't a terrible idea. I'm actually kind of on board with that. That actually looks kind of cool. It actually sounds kind of nice. I just gotta look up the name of what this baguette is called. Cause it's a baguette, but it's just done differently. Seeded baguette, Epi de bleu. I tried. Hold on, there's a lot of silly stuff that's going on. Okay, so there are stuffed baguettes. Demi baguettes. Okay, so it is apparently called Epi de bleu. Sheaf of wheat. Hold on, let me look it up. And let me see if I can actually pronounce it. I don't need a 15-second video, just pronounce the thing, please. Epidouble. Epidouble? I guess that's how it is? From the most vague of descriptions. Every self-respecting bakery will offer epidouble baguettes, a whimsical twist on the everyday baguette loaf. Once you hear the translation, you'll note that these stunning loaves do in fact resemble a sheath of wheat. They are the ultimate picnic food, and for each breaking each point off breaking off into its own little bread rolls. Actually, you know what? I think that might be a good thing. That's actually a pretty good idea, I'm gonna go on and say. Thanks, Sai. I think that's actually a grand idea. And, looking at her design... I don't know. Epidouble. I'll do something that is based on that. I mean, okay. I know I did just say I want to have reservations for bread like this when it comes to more Asian-based designs. But I'm seeing the melon bun, and I'm starting to think that maybe doing epidouble, but a milk, but with like... based on like milk bread might actually seem very ideal. Just because not only is it with milk bread upon itself, it's more nice to have as like a dinner roll based idea. And also is more fluffy, soft, and stuff like that, which does kind of represent her mascot a bit, but also just it really is the melon bread that also kind of like brings it back together. It's like, yeah, actually that actually would be kind of nice. And then maybe doing like black sesame on it too, like a black sesame epidouble. Seems kind of fun, seems kind of cool. But yeah, I think that works very well. I think that'll be a grand idea if I ever get to doing it. Come to think of it, I actually need to I want to learn how to make good baguettes, because I've made baguettes, but they never turn out good, and that's just because I am really bad at shaping. I'm so stupid. I'm not good at that part. Shaping is such an extreme weakness for me. Anyways, hey, this one's easy too. Wow, what an easy VTuber to make into a bread. Their name is Sariberry. They do zodiacs to my understandings. And I'm not sure if you can spot the things on her hat and also, you know, her design as a whole. But something tells me that we want to do a bread based on oranges. Just saying. I think I'm doing a bread based on orange vines, maybe. Maybe adding some sort of schnapps, like a peach schnapps as well. That just seems like such a great idea. And I hope you're just catching the sarcasm, because yeah, it's gonna have to be like a strawberry kind of shortcake ordeal. But the issue is that strawberry shortcake is cake. And also, I'm gonna, on paper, do like 3 strawberry breads in this case, because I have Camilla. I made a Camilla bread. And if you want to see that again, because I do have pictures of the Camilla bread, just because I just love it. It's stupid and I hate it. This thing. I hate it in the sense that it's just, why? It's a pink swirl confetti bread, and it is bread. It just was it wasn't bad. First and foremost, this was not a bad bread. It was just very weird, but it's just kind of like on brand, I guess, because Camilla is kind of weird. and chaotic, and this is kind of the epiphany of that. So it's like, okay. Actually, you know what would be funny? Trying to actually make it into a sensible sort of... Trying to make this into sort of a sensible, savory bread. Or something like that. Because, like, if I want to stretch this BS... Zodiacs and stuff like that, you know, they're trying to make, like, balance in your life or whatnot, and like, oh, the best way of living, blah 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 blah. And strawberries, they're always sweet, but I want to make a bread that's kind of more savory-esque. Actually, you know what, just talking about all this out loud, it just sounds like I should just make a scone or a biscuit or something amongst the line of tea as well. Kind of unfair, because I don't think I'm not sure if I have her on this thing. I don't. Mima, I need to make a new bread based on Minima. Minima is a tea witch, so I want to make a bread based on her, but I don't know how to make a bread based on tea. Kinda. It's a back burner idea. But also, she did recommend that I make a flatbread based on her, so that's also a difficult thing to think of. We're not gonna talk about Mima right now. We're gonna talk about Sari Berry. Which, now that I say Sari Berry out loud, makes me think of that she's like a Care Bear or something like that. But she's, I imagine, a strawberry witch that has some sort of strawberry shortcake ordeal, because the swirls in her hair just makes me think of whipped cream. So, I don't know. Strawberry milk bread? Which would be really funny to make with just strawberry milk instead of, like, I don't know. Make like a strawberry, like making a milk bread, but instead of milk bread, it's strawberry milk. Creative, I know. So, well, that's probably still the latest idea. Strawberry creme pate filled. No ads. Ad break. Oh, I didn't even know that was an ad break. My bad. My bad. Okay, so, strawberry bread? Strawberry milk bread? A strawberry milk bread made with... I think strawberry milk bread is just gonna be the best way to go. I don't know. Strawberry milk bread would be fun. I think that's probably the best way around to doing that. And just making them into buns. Or, here, let me look up, mooncakes. Oh, that would be kind of cool. I'm not sure if that's what this is. I mean, if this is... Let me look up what... Let me actually look into this. A mooncake. Yeah, this is what I thought a mooncake was. Now, I'm thinking of a thing. This thing right here. I would like to do something like, is it, because that's not babka, is it babka vash? Babka bread. I think that might be babka bread then. Strawberry babka bread. Ooh, actually. Yeah, okay. Okay, lads. I got an idea. Strawberry babka bread. I'm gonna have to definitely look and do some research about this because I don't know how to make babkas at all. I'm not very confident in that idea. But I'm gonna do a strawberry milk babka bread. That might be kind of cool to do. Man, at this point I am making just a cookbook of just breads. But that'd be kind of cool. Having a bread based off that and her whimsy design of along with being a witch and it just being internally very fluffy and soft and something they can have with coffee and tea. I think that sounds like a grand idea. I think that sounds like that just makes sense, no? Now, if only the same could be said, I've already talked to Bro Lime extensively about that, so I already got that set in stone. He actually did a stream about talking about that, so... let's bring out this thing. This creature, La Critura. She's a little bean. She's sweet. She's very nice. But I don't know how to make her into bread. So she is from the Europeans. And her, you know, the first color that's front and forward, I'm not sure about you guys, but to me, is purple. But that's an issue. I don't know many ingredients in the world that are naturally purple, and although I am not opposed to getting something that is unnatural, even unnatural, I don't even really... Grapes? Actually, not really grapes, because grapes are actually not purple. Their insides are actually green. And when you mash them and all that whatnot, they become like pink, I think? I don't know. Either way, I don't think purple is it makes it kind of difficult. Blackberry Earl Grey. That would be so funny to do that now. Because I know there is a VTuber, I'm not sure if it's her or Daishima, that hates Earl Grey. So it'd be really funny to do a Blackberry Earl Grey tea bread. Hi Berghoff, hello. Blackberry's not a bad idea, actually. But as I go down this list here, I do realize that everything I'm making is so far very sweet. So I would like to tone it back a bit to make it more savory. But even at that, that really is the best thing to do. A blackberry bread for her. Blackberry brioche? You see, when I just put one thing in front of the thing, one little attribute in front of a bread, it just kind of makes me feel it's so uninspired. BRB grabbing snacks? Go ahead. You're allowed to grab snacks. I can't stop you from doing that. But when it comes to just putting like, oh, let me do this in front of this, like, oh, let me just make a blank sourdough, a blank milk bread, a blank brioche, gets into that category of like, it feels uninspired to what their design is. And I just feel like there's more potential, you know? Mima is a purple tea witch. So I don't really know other than like making a tea bread. Blackberry tea bread? Blackberry scones? I don't know. Something I kind of want to go back to eventually because I just there's something really cool that I can do, but I just can't put my words together to give you a proper idea of what it could be. So, me, Mipion, Heveskopf bread is a German bread. And I've talked to her about it, and I think she likes the idea, so that's cool. Swiss cheese buns. Yeah, Zumi. She's a little rat, mouse or something like that. I don't know. Mouse VTuber. Zumi, small, zoom. And I do want to just do a generic cheese bread, honestly. That is just something that makes sense. She's a mouse, or a rat, or she's one of those two things. And just doing a cheese bread just sounds right. So just doing a Swiss cheese bread just sounds, well, right. But yeah. That's the kind of thing to where it feels uninspired, but there really is no other way to do it, because that is just, it's just them, you know. That's literally them, for real, on God. Yeah. Tempai, lad I know, doing an Irish beer bread just makes sense for him. Nicola, Coca-Cola VTuber, doing a Coca-Cola bread. Sounds diabolical, but I want to try and do something like that because it sounds stupid. Soren is a bartender who is red, so red wine bread sounds interesting. And I'm not really worried about that being uninspired, just because red wine, making that into a bread sounds difficult. Because I feel like the red wine would kill the yeast. So trying to find a balance to get enough flavor and enough color from the red wine and making that into a bread should be enough of a challenge. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is literally tar. Baking of tar sounds diabolical, but also that just works on brand of Nicola, so that's just fine how it is. Irish beer bread. I'm not gonna explain that one. But yeah. Now we're on to a thing of, I just kind of like to ask random Vupers, random lads on Voop chat. Really cool VTuber I met, Caution OL. Let me throw them a shout out because they seem really friendly, they seem cool, and all that funny stuff in between. Let me try and give them a shout out. That, you know, the day I can finally be the day I'm like a quote-unquote big VTuber, I'm just gonna abuse my power and just shill like all these people out because I think that's just kind of fun. So there's a little shill for her. I think for whom are interested. But I talked to her and I said like, oh, if I made you into a bread, what'd you be? And she said something cinnamon based. Now I don't know why, but the cinnamon and someone that is the color green, for some reason in my brain works hand in hand of each other. I don't know why I think, but when I think of the color green and cinnamon, it just makes sense. Maybe it's because I think of the color like bronze, you know, and how that, or not bronze, copper, and how that kind of like, you know, it becomes green over time, and like, oh, you know, copper's round-ish, like cinnamon, so it's a stretch, but it's like, oh, that just makes sense, right? So yeah, I don't know, stuff like that. But this lass, she's cool. I'm taller than her by 2 centimeters, so all is well in the world. I think she said she's a salamander or a chameleon? I don't remember. But yeah, she seems cool. I don't mind making a bread based on her. But I don't know what to... Here, let me... Because I know... Okay, I feel there is something you can do of a chemical reaction in cinnamon. Combustion and explosions. Cinnamon. Can you turn cinnamon green? You cannot turn it green. Okay. I don't know why, in my brain it's like, I felt like you could turn... It feels like you can do some sort of chemical reaction with cinnamon. Let's see, do I have a book on hand? Because I bet a book right now would actually kind of help me out here. I do not have a book at hand. I am too stupid for books. What am I thinking about? Because there's something with cinnamon and the color green that just works in tandem with each other, but I just can't think of the proper things that do work in tandem. I think I'm thinking of curry, funny enough, and like tea leaves, like green tea leaves, like lime leaves and stuff like that again, which is weird how that's a thing that just pops in my little brain again. But it's this last that's like, She said, like, making a bread based on her that is cinnamon based is a good idea. But it's like, me personally, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know, what's more, I don't know her like background and stuff like that, other than like that she's a chameleon VTuber. Here, let me just go look in her like fan arts and whatnot. Maybe there's something there that I can go look down and go like, yeah, that's something to work with. Cinnamon breads. And when I look up cinnamon breads, it just gives me things of like cinnamon swirl breads and stuff like that. Which isn't exactly what I want to go for. And I guess I should also mention that, oh yeah, even though that I do want to do like I do want to try to, what's the word? Kinda play along with our color palette as well. I do gotta also just remember to just not restrict myself to that, because you don't always need to follow it. I also don't always want to follow it, because then you get into some weird, a weird pretty patty situation, and it's like everything just kind of looks too quirky and weird, and it's like, oh, I don't want to eat that now, you know? Okonomiyaki? That looks like okonomiyaki, what the hell? Oh, it's not okonomiyaki, it's toast. It's just toast. Also, a little fun thing for the word for the day, just because I feel like you guys should have a fun word to think about. Okonomiyaki is a very fun word, and you should start saying it more often. And you should. Okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki, okonomiyaki, okonomiyaki. Okay. So actually, this is not a bad idea, but doing like a cinnamon apple loaf would actually be kind of nice. So getting like a nice green apple, shredding that, making a little bread with that, and making it into and like doing layers of cinnamon maybe, or maybe doing a swirl just because her tail is curled up and stuff like that. So I don't know, something like a swirl and then using green apples, so hey, I do hit a green quota. So like a granny apple cinnamon bread sounds fun, sounds nice. Actually, not that bad of an idea. I think that works very nicely. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That sounds like a grand idea. So let's go back to Mima. Because I'm gonna show you the now new updated log of VTuber breads here. And yeah, I think it's a lot more fleshed out. It looks a lot more nicer. Now, the only thing that I have to work on is one tuber that I'm still trying to figure out. Mima. I got no ideas. Purple Witch. European, but wants a flatbread based on her. I got nothing. There's not many flatbreads that I know of that are purple, and there's not many things and flavors out there in nature that are purple, even though I don't want to restrict myself to doing purple, but blackberry is an idea, but doing a blackberry... Here, let me just look up just blackberry flatbread to see if that's even a thing. And it is, but it's like blackberry's topping flatbread. So, oh, with like goat cheese and stuff like that? Okay, that sounds nice. That sounds like your average flatbread ordeal. But it's like... it doesn't sound enough, if that makes sense, you know? How blue-green can make you a bread without dye? So actually, you can probably actually if it depends on your definition of dye, because technically there are flowers that are blue and are edible that you can powder down, dehydrate, make your own little powder with, and then use that to dye your breads. Though at the same time, it can give a slight hint of purple, which is difficult, I guess. Yeah, here's the issue about Mima. Her design just makes me want to do like some sort of very floral bread, you know? I just searched up floral flatbreads and it just showed me flatbread art, which isn't really what I'm looking for to do. Well, it wasn't worth a try though, but I mean, I could make her a focaccia, I guess. Make a focaccia based on her. But that seems very shallow. And unless it like really screams from her design and just something that absolutely makes sense, then like yeah, I would do that. But she's not very boppa the boopy, not very hand wavy gesture stuff. She's not very Italiano to my knowledge. Might be Italian, I don't know. She's eggplant colored, so how about eggplant bread? You know, that's not a horrible idea, but we're getting into the, it's very Mediterranean, I think, because when I think about eggplant and cooking it down, it gets very wet and mushy, and then I just think of Spanatopica. Spatatopica? Bataflora? With lavender for flavor and purpleness. A lavender eggplant focaccia doesn't actually sound horrible, actually. But in essence, what that would boil down to is just focaccia that has lavender and eggplant on top. Actually, not the worst idea, because then you could... In concept, it's not a bad idea. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I'm just gonna write that down for now. So I'm thinking of like doing a lavender and eggplant focaccia. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But then having like little blips and blobs of focaccia. I mean focaccia? Ricotta cheese. So it's not a bad idea actually. It's just that my only quarrel with it is that it's just still in essence focaccia. But actually that's not a horrible idea. Campanata. Okay, yeah, I was initially thinking of a campanata, which is actually an Italian bread. I mean, Italian food. So it's kind of funny how that is still kind of staying on brand. If we do a campanata lavender focaccia, actually sounds kind of good. Doesn't sound too horrible. It sounds actually quite lovely. So maybe eggplant slash caponata. Alright, well, that's satisfying enough for me. Bread stuffed with caponata or mixed into dough. Oh wait, no, okay, doing like a a stuffed flatbread. Oh wait, actually wait. Campanata naan. Doing like a campanata naan. Not a horrible idea once more, just sounds kind of weird in concept. But I'll have that in brackets in case this one's a little bit too weird, the first idea, so. But that's actually good, I like that. No horrible. Alright. So that makes it so we have hit all of the margins. I can't say I did it alone. We've kind of hit all the marks. I am gonna really quickly go grab Sai's name because of course I want to make a bread based on her. Doing an orange citrus bread would be very thematic for her. I think it just makes the most sense. I'm just gonna leave it at orange citrus just because it is it's very simple in concept, but like doing an orange citrus bread sounds quite lovely because like orange is, you know, it's gonna be sweet, but then having like the little bitterness of like maybe adding the pith and stuff, making like an orange tea maybe, or having some inclusion of some sort of sense of marmalade and stuff like that. That on itself actually sounds very, very nice and very lovely. And then doing buns, I guess, because I actually don't have a. Hold on, I don't think I have a. I don't think I have. I know I don't have a reference sheet of Sai. I don't really have reference sheets of VTubers that I have recently met because I'm lazy. But also, I'm pretty sure this is just a me thing, but like, I think, what is it? Oranges are weird, because oranges kind of sway between the idea of summer and fall time. And her design does scream a little bit of fallness to me. With the little branches and the little moth things, I guess. I assume it's moth things, I don't know. And her design just does scream very mothy. Oranges are a winter fruit. Really? Maybe just because of navel oranges and stuff like that, because that just makes me that just reminds me of summer. But yeah, I think that might be fun to do. Just an orange citrus bread, orange pith citrus bread. So there we go. This list has become quite extensive. I'm not sure if there's any other VTuber I want to make into bread though. we're kind of at this point where it's like I've made a lot of I've gotten a lot of VTubers and I'm making a lot of them into bread. But now it's kind of the thing of, am I missing anyone else? Yeah, I'm gonna actually go look at my I'm just gonna go on Twitter right now and go scroll down my following pages and see what kind of VTubers I know of that are. Who are the VTubers? Who are some VTubers I know of? I would do breads based off like I don't know, VTubers such as like Iron Mouse or like Narissa and stuff like that, because I like those VTubers, but they're too big and I'm too scared and intimidated. Maybe. I mean, what kind of bread? I'm trying to think of like what kind of bread could I make that would be based on like Narissa, for example. She's a raven, blue woman, sound demon. If anything, I would just not make bread. No, okay, I'm trying to think of the, because there's a funny thing of that she gets Culvers a lot, but she takes the, I think the top bun off. So it'd be really funny to make a bread based on her, where you cut the top off and you just have the bottom and that's the bread. But that's also too, that's also just, that's a little too stupid. Umiko, that's a I could do them. Could make a bread based off them. Yeah, I don't know what kind of bread I would make. I'm just scrolling down. I'm just saying VTubers that are in my view. Celadon VA. Loud pink angel, fallen angel VTuber. I don't know. I don't know. They're Korean. Oh, I really don't know. I got nothing. Yeah, I can't think of any. There's an issue. Okay, so there's also it's really funny, because even though I say like, oh yeah, I want to reserve like milk bread for like Asian-based VTubers, there's a reason to that. Not just because that most breads, no, most milk bread is very synonymous with like Asia and whatnot, but also there's not many breads that are synonymous with Asia really as a whole, unless it's like maybe India, because I know they have some breads there, but I haven't really done too much research on that front. But when it comes to breads and the presence of bread within Asia, it's mostly absent, because there isn't really much history with bread in there, other than maybe like buns and whatnot. But yeah, there isn't really much what's the word? There isn't really much of a history in the present when it comes to bread, which is complicated, I guess. Arcadia. Now, that would be funny. Because that would definitely be a bread I would make her into make from an energy drink like Monster or something. I think she's a very hardcore gamer. She doesn't sleep. It just makes sense. I just have to find like a purple monster or something like that. Be really cool to make a bread based on like some of the big corpo VTubers and whatnot. It's just that I can't think of anything on top of my head that would make sense. I don't know. It's funny, I'm scrolling down VTubers right now. There was a VTuber I should make a bread based on, but I completely just passed them and I just don't know what they were. Come to think of it, I'm just trying to think of like, what are some VTubers that would really like to turn into bread? Can't really think of any. Oh. This is not a VTuber, but I feel like it would really be funny to make a bread based on them, but Teto. Really fun, be really nice. I just, kind of the same situation of Mitmai. How do you make a bread based on Teto? Her thing is that she likes baguettes. So it's like, you know. Huh? Huh? I don't know. Obviously, bread is obvious. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, how do I base a bread based on bread? How do I make a baguette based on a baguette? It's like, how do you innovate a baguette? Baguette squared? 2 baguettes? 3 baguettes? I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. I would like to also make a bread of like Rin Penrose. That'd be really funny. But it's like, okay, how do I make a bread based on her? Because she's actually batshit insane. I don't know what's wrong with him. It's like, they're crazy and I love them for that. They're weird. I love them. I feel like it'd be really funny to just throw a whole ass rose in there and just see what happens. That's like, that just seems like it would make sense. It just seems really funny. So yeah, I would like to do that maybe. Yeah, now I'm just kind of doom scrolling on Twitter at this point. I will mention just cause I don't know, I'm trying to see like who are some really prominent VTubers that I enjoy that I would like to make into bread. You know, and also just speaking of that as well, does any of you lads, you guys can throw your hands in the ring as well. Do any of you lads have any, any VTubers you want to make into bread? Cause the offer is on the table for pretty much anyone. Once more, I think I just passed the VTuber I wanted to make bread. Oh, okay. Speaker. Kira Speaker. That, I think that's gonna be the last VTuber I'm looking at. That's like, oh, I would like to make into a bread. Kira Speaker. One of the first VTubers that I found out from Offkai, the first time I went to Offkai, and it's just like, I love them. Their music is great. They sing good. They need more music. I want to hear more covers, and I probably can, but I don't know, lazy. I like to listen to this stuff on Spotify, and I just don't look at it enough on YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, I really would like to make a bread based on her. And I think like the most simplest thing to think of is doing like a Sakura bread. She's very, very, I guess, cherry blossom pilled in that sense. So doing a Sakura and the blue dress makes me think of vanilla. So some sort of like cherry blossom vanilla bread. Like a cherry, like in my head, I do want to do I think I've also been doing a lot of milk breads, I think. Minna, I've done a milk bread for her, but it's a sourdough milk bread, so it doesn't really count in that regard. Mint Mai might be a milk bread. Sorry Berry is gonna be a milk bread babka. So doing a fourth milk bread seems kind of repetitive at this point too. Not to mention that if I do go with Zuzu doing a Sakura Cherry Ciabatta, I feel like that might overlap with this whole list of breads I'm making that I want to make. Doing a Sakura vanilla milk bread. But it's like, I don't know what else I do. But it does seem like very obvious because she is a cloud girl as well. The other idea to do would be to do a cloud bread, which would be very obvious to do, but cloud breads are not good. They do not taste good. They taste like savory meringue, which is very weird. So, I'm just gonna write that. I'm just gonna write this down right now. Cherry blossom vanilla milk bread. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what's a bread. Okay, I'm just gonna look it up on not YouTube, on Google. What's a bread that's as soft as clouds? Japanese milk bread and brioche. Wow, who would have guessed? Cloud bread. Yeah, okay, so... Okay, so... I don't want to do cloud breads, no. Angel cake? You see, okay, angel cake is very, very on brand. Like, if I want to go completely on brand with Kiraspika, I think the most logical thing to do is to do a cherry blossom angel food cake. That is the most logical thing to make her. Because angel food cake just is on brand, just because of the name, and also is incredibly fluffy and soft. And then adding a little bit of extract to make it into like a cherry blossom sort of flavor is very on par. And also she's very sweet and very nice to listen to and all this and that. So it's like, it makes sense. Unfortunately, that just does not work because I'm making bread, not cake. And to make it as a fluffy bread, we're getting into the territory of just making cloud bread. And cloud bread is even more on brand, because Angel, she has a very angelic voice, but she's not an angel, she's a cloud girl, very specifically. So, and also I've already said my transgressions about cloud bread. Although it is interesting that it is gluten-free. So for what that's worth. But cloud bread is just savory meringue. So unless you like savory meringue cookies, I'm not really sure I would be willing to make that. It's a weird viral bread that people have made on TikTok. So, not sure. Here, I want to actually look into cherry blossom flavoring. Oh, there are cherry blossom powders. Ooh, these look grand. These look lovely. Very cute. I didn't know something like this existed, honestly. Interesting. Ooh, there's a lot of like food flavoring oils, 18 flavor candy flavorings, concentrated imitation flavor extra for baking, lip gloss, drinks, cooking, soap, water, and oil soluble. Wow. There's kiwi, cherry, rose, mango, honey, mint, blueberry, vanilla, strawberry, pineapple, banana, apple, grape, orange, green tea, lemon, and watermelon for the low price of $14.95 on Amazon. Oh my god, I'm not buying that. Because I want cherry blossom, not roses. Which are two fairly similar, but not, what is it? Two very similar, but not the same thing. That's like saying navel oranges and oranges are the same thing as well. They do have a bit of a distinct... No, clementines and navel oranges. That's like saying that those are the same thing. And they're not. Like me. But yeah. It'd be cool to do a cherry blossom vanilla milk bread. Cool. Anyways, I think that's that. Unless anyone else... Does any of you lads have a VTuber you like that you might maybe want to have me try to attempt to shove into a bread machine and make them into bread? Any of yous? If not, I think this honestly might be a good time to possibly end. So yeah. At this point, I am looking for someone to raid, so giving you a bit of time here. Unless there is no time. No time, you know what they say, no time like the present. I guess. It's funny. I'm gonna refresh my page then. Okay, so I assume you lot don't really have anyone. Hold on, I'm just browsing. Browsing the ever so growing Twitch sphere. Oh, that's why this lass is familiar. She is from. I know them. I think I know them by proxy from another VTuber. So, how's about we go raid them? They look neat. They look nice enough to go possibly raid. Did you see what they were updating the mod dash? Did you see they were updating the mod dashboard? Like on Twitch? I assume you mean by on Twitch, right? Yeah. I didn't know. No. To be honest with you guys, I don't really pay attention to the mod stuff because I don't know, they're not I did see a bit of that. Well, yeah, I don't really moderate my stuff. If anything, I usually leave that up to Bush, or I leave that up to Bush, or I leave that up to Saribot. So, I don't know. I think we might go raid into the silly gal that I know from proxy, via proxy from another tuber. So yeah, I mean, okay, I guess before I do send it, are you guys fine with going to go watch a Persona. Are you guys fine with watching Persona 3 Reload? Would you guys like to watch that, or maybe not? You can be honest. Because if I'm gonna rate you, if I'm gonna rate you guys into something, you know, I want you to at least be rated into something you like. Good bot. We like Sari. If the streamer is cool, yeah. She looks cool. So I'm taking that as a yes. We're gonna go raid into them. Lacey Powder Wing. We're gonna go raid into Miss Lacey Powder Ring. And yeah, I think that is gonna be our last stream for this week, actually. Which is weird. I'm streaming 3 times a week nowadays, but that's just kind of the par for the course at this point. Busy seasons at my job and the workforce has to take priority. It is what it is, lads. Womp, womp, and all that silly stuff. But yeah. That being said, we'll actually have some fun streams next week. For one thing, we have the official Champions Bracket Cobblemon tournament to worry about. So that's the big and first and foremost thing that we have to worry about. So there's that. Secondly, there's also going to be a collab next week as well. So that's still in the works, but keep an eye out for that. Real fun collab. That's gonna be very fun. And you guys should definitely come and watch it because it's gonna be very fun. But yeah. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening. Here is a raid message before I forget, and I will see you all around when I see you next. Alright. Otsukichi everyone, and ciao.